I want to make this promise to Canadians. I will always be straight about the challenges that we face and the choices that we must make. And to be clear, we won't transform our economy easily or in a few months. It will take some sacrifices, and it will take some time.
Canadians, brace yourselves, because what Prime Minister Mark Carney just said may change the course of this country forever. Last night in Ottawa, Carney stood before a crowd of students and business leaders and delivered what some are calling the most chilling speech of his career. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't smile. He looked right into the cameras and said the words no Canadian wants to hear. There will be challenges, and there will be sacrifices. But what exactly did he mean? And what sacrifices is he talking about? Tonight, we dig deep into Carney's warning and uncover the truth about what's really coming next for Canada. It started as a routine speech, a discussion about the upcoming federal budget. But within minutes, the tone shifted. Carney's voice grew firm, his words more deliberate. He spoke of a more hostile world, of economic storms on the horizon, and of decisions that could reshape the way Canadians live, work, and trade. He said, quote, "If we don't act now, the pressures will only grow." And then came the line that sent shockwaves through the crowd. It will take sacrifices, and it will take time. Now, if you've been following Carney's moves lately, you know he doesn't speak in riddles. Every word is deliberate, every phrase carefully measured. So when a former Bank of Canada governor, a man who's been at the heart of the global financial system, starts talking about sacrifices, you pay attention. Behind the calm tone of his speech lies something deeper, something Canadians weren't told directly. Sources close to Ottawa hint that the upcoming budget may include some of the most dramatic fiscal shifts in decades, a new climate competitiveness strategy, major changes to immigration, and a plan to attract what Carney calls international talent. But that's not all. A leaked briefing note, reportedly circulated among senior Liberal staffers, warns that these policies could lead to temporary disruptions, including potential job restructuring, increased taxes on certain sectors, and energy market reforms that could hit Alberta and Saskatchewan the hardest. Ottawa hasn't confirmed this yet, but the timing of Carney's sacrifice warning feels too deliberate to ignore. Carney's words echoed across the country, from oil towns in Alberta to factories in Ontario. Some called it honesty. Others called it a warning shot. And here's where things get even more intriguing. Just hours before his speech, Carney quietly met with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre behind closed doors. No cameras, no press, just two political heavyweights, face to face. The meeting reportedly lasted over an hour. Officially, they discussed priorities for the upcoming budget, but insiders claim the tone was anything but friendly. According to one source, Poilievre pressed hard on Carney to scrap a planned energy transition levy, something that could dramatically raise costs for fuel producers across the prairies. Carney didn't commit. In fact, he didn't promise anything. He simply listened, then walked out, headed to deliver the speech we're talking about tonight. Coincidence? Maybe. But to many political watchers, it looked like a carefully orchestrated move, one meant to send a message. Now, let's piece this together. Carney's warning, a secretive meeting with the opposition leader, and a promise of a new direction for Canada's economy. What if this isn't just about the budget? What if this is the start of something much bigger? A full-scale economic transformation designed to reset Canada's position in the global order. Remember his words. A more dynamic, a more competitive, a more hostile world. Some analysts believe this was Carney's way of hinting at an upcoming trade realignment, possibly shifting Canada away from its traditional dependency on the United States. He even announced an ambitious goal to double non-U.S. exports over the next decade. But how do you pull that off without major internal restructuring? Or, as Carney put it, sacrifices? Here's what's even more unsettling. According to leaked diplomatic cables, Carney's upcoming trip to Southeast Asia isn't just for photo ops. He's expected to meet privately with leaders from Indonesia, Vietnam, and Singapore to negotiate what's being called a Pacific Renewal Agreement. Unofficially, the deal could open Canada's markets to Asian partners, but at a price: tougher climate commitments and potential cuts to domestic energy subsidies. Translation: Canada might soon be choosing global alliances over local industries. And that's where the sacrifice comes in. Because when Ottawa cuts energy support to meet global trade targets, it's the prairie provinces, not the capital, that feel the pain first. Canadians are asking, is this about preparing the country for the future or about centralizing power in Ottawa? Carney says he wants to build a stronger economy. But some critics say his plan mirrors the European green transition model, where rapid economic overhauls left thousands unemployed before the promised new industries ever took shape. And yet, Carney remains steadfast. He insists the transformation is necessary and unavoidable. He told the audience, "We won't transform our economy easily or in a few months. It's a long road, and one that may come with higher prices, slower growth, and deep regional divides." But the real question is, what happens next? As Carney prepares to board his flight to Asia, his team is finalizing the budget expected to be tabled on November 4th. Multiple insiders say the document could contain what's being dubbed the National Transition Plan, a sweeping framework that links climate, immigration, and trade policy into a single national strategy. If true, it would mark one of the most ambitious economic overhauls in modern Canadian history. And here's the twist. Some senior ministers are reportedly uneasy. They fear the plan could spark political backlash in the West, possibly reigniting old tensions over federal control and resource policy. One Alberta insider even said, if Carney moves forward with this, Danielle Smith won't stay quiet for long. That's not an empty threat, it's a warning. Because the last time Ottawa tried to impose major energy reforms without provincial consent, it led to the National Energy Program and decades of resentment that never truly faded. So here we are again, on the edge of another national divide. Carney says sacrifice. The West hears interference. Ottawa calls it progress. But what if this time, the stakes are even higher? With global tensions rising, the United States reworking trade rules under President Trump's new policies, and Asia becoming the next economic battleground, Canada could be caught in the middle of a power shift it's not ready for. And that's why Carney's speech feels less like a budget preview and more like a warning to the nation. Because when a prime minister tells you to prepare for sacrifices, it means the storm isn't coming. It's already here. So as Canadians go about their daily lives, paying bills, watching prices rise, and hoping for stability, remember this. Something big is unfolding behind closed doors. And when the truth finally emerges on November 4th, one thing is certain. What happens next will stun us all.